To my channel, guys. So in today's video we are going to see how we can draw a DOL starter panel. So in this picture you can see already the components are given, like we have fuse, we have transformer, we have magnetic contactor, main contacts. So all the components are given, so we have to connect these components in order to make the circuit working. So this circuit comprises of two parts. One is your power circuit. So this portion that you can see from here, we are going to call it power circuit, and the portion after the fuse is going to be our control circuit. So our job is to connect the power circuit with your control circuit and make this circuit operational. So let's get started. So first of all, we can see that on the top we are having main 380 volt 3-phase power supply. So we are going to connect this MCCB, which is your molded case circuit breaker, from your mains to the breaker inlet. So we connected this like this. So your main power supply is available at the inlet of your circuit breaker. Now since the circuit breaker is in open position, power supply from the circuit breaker can go to the magnetic contactor. So what we are going to do is, we are going to connect this circuit breaker, we are going to close it. So as soon as we close the circuit breaker, power supply from the MCCB, it will go to your magnetic contactor. So now at the magnetic contactor in, power supply is available. Now since the magnetic contactor contacts are in open position, power supply from your magnetic contactor cannot flow. So once this magnetic contactor closes, power supply from your contactor will be available, and it will be going to your OLR, which is your overload relay. And after overload relay, it is going to go to the winding of your motor. So since this motor has to be connected in star, so as we know, in star configuration, what happens is one end of our motor is shorted. So suppose these are 3 windings of a motor. So we can draw like this. So if we name this as E1, U2, this one as V1, V2, this one as W1, W2. So if we have to connect this motor winding into star, we have to short one end of the winding, right? So once we short one end of the winding to the other end, we can connect the power supply. So here what we can do is, we can short this U2, V2 and W2. So once we short this U2, V2 and W2, power supply which is going to come from the OLR, we can connect to this one end of your motor terminal. So this we are going to connect to one end. So once we connected this, now we can see that my motor is connected in star. So now after that, we can see that the power circuit is completed. So once your power circuit is done, now we are going to connect it to the control circuit. So first of all, what we have to do, from the main line, 2 lines we have to take to the fuse, right? So now from here, this 440, it goes to your fuse, and after fuse, it is going to go to your control transformer. So this control transformer is stepping down the voltage from 440 to 220. So after the fuse, after the transformer, this is your primary side of transformer, this is the secondary side of your transformer. So at the secondary side of the transformer, we are having 230 volt AC, right? So now in the control side, we are having 230 volt AC. So now how to connect this circuit, how our motor is going to work? So for connecting this circuit, all the electrical circuits are having 2 lines, right? One is your power line, other one is your neutral line. So what we can do, the neutral line that is given here, we can connect like this. From here we can directly take this one, and this wire we can directly connect it to the magnetic contactor, right? I will tell you why I am going to connect like this. Or what we can do, for easier understanding, we can connect the top line first. So from fuse, it is going to go to your OLR, right? Overload NC contact, and after OLR, it is going to go to your stop push button NC contact, and after stop push button it is going to go to your start push button NC contact, right? Now our main job is to energize this magnetic contactor when the start button is pressed, right? So here what we can see that my start push button, it is in normal open condition, right? This start push button is in normal open condition and this stop push button is in normal closed condition. So what is the meaning of your normal open, normal close, or we also call it normally open, normally close? Normally open and normally close means that at present situation, without any external intervention, that switch or that contact has been in normal open position. For example, relay. In relay also some sets of NO and NC contact will be given, right? So when there is no electrical power given to the coil of your relay, at that condition the switches, the contact of your relay are in NO and NC condition. Same this start push button, it is a spring loaded start push button. It means what? When we are pressing this start push button, that time only it is going to make the contact and it is going to make like this, and once we release it, it is going to go back to its original position, right? So this is the situation. So right now our start push button has been in open condition, which is your normally open condition. So what we have to do is, this is start push button, we have to connect it to magnetic contactor, right? So that once we press it, 220 can go to your magnetic contact. Now this magnetic contactor gets power, but from other end of the magnetic contactor it is already open, right? So we have to complete this circuit. So for completing this circuit, what we can do, this magnetic contactor we can connect to the other end of the power line, or we can also call it the return line. So this we can call the return line, right? So from here what will happen, through this fuse we can connect this like this. So now if you see, our circuit is completed. So now we can test our circuit. So once we test our circuit and once we press the start button here, right, so once I press this start button here, what will happen, this MC will get energized, right? And once it will get energized, it is going to close its main contact here, right? But also you need its holding contact or the auxiliary contact, and it has got one of its auxiliary contact here. So the missing symbol that we are having here is the NO contact of your magnetic contactor MC. So why it is given? Because as I already told you, this start push button that is given here, it is your spring loaded start push button. So once we are opening this one, once we are pressing this one, that time only it is going to make this contact, and as soon as we release the start push button, it is going to get opened up and our motor is going to stop. So this is what it is going to take place. So what I have to do here, so power supply is available to your start push button, right? And this holding contact we have to connect across this start push button. So this holding contact is the normally open contact of your magnetic contactor MC. So now if we try to start the circuit, so your 440 comes and it goes to your fuse and after fuse it goes to your transformer, and secondary of the transformer is 220 volt AC, right? So this 220 volt goes to your start push button. So once your start push button is pressed, from there this 220 volt power supply goes to your magnetic contactor. Once your magnetic contactor is energized, right, or once your magnetic contactor coil gets 220 volt electrical power supply, it is going to close its main contact here, right? So once your main contacts are closed, now 440 from main contactor can flow and it will pass through overload relay, and then finally it is going to go to your motor winding, right? So your motor is going to start. So after closing its main contact, it is also going to close one of its holding contact here. So this contact will be closed here. So now what will happen is, even though I release this start push button here and the push button is in an open condition, right, power supply to my magnetic contactor it is going through this fuse through OLR through stop push button, and through this holding contact it is still going to your magnetic contact. So this contact we also call it holding contact, because this contact is responsible for the continuous power supply across the magnetic contactor. So this is how my circuit is going to be started. For stopping, what we have to do? For stopping, we can do one thing. Once we press the stop button here, right? Once we press the stop button here, power supply across your magnetic contactor will be cut it out, right? So once your power supply across magnetic contactor is cut out, all these contacts will be in open position. Also this main contact is going to get open. So as soon as your main contacts gets opened up, right, now there is no power supply across your motor winding. So motor will lose power supply and then it is going to stop. So motor will lose the power supply and then it is going to stop, right? So now this stop push button is also spring loaded. So even though you release the stop push button, right, so what will happen? Again it is going to close, right? So if it is closing, what will happen? Again power supply will pass from stop push button, it will go to start push button, and then it is going to wait near this start push button. So now again we have to press this start button, then only my motor is going to start, otherwise it will remain in your stop position. So this is how the circuit is going to work.